Welcome back, everybody, back to another cooking video here on my channel. Real simple today. I have some chicken breast. We're gonna make chicken breast and spinach. It's gonna taste delicious, but it couldn't be any more simple. I picked some chicken breast up at the grocery store. These were pre-butterflied and they're trimmed. Typically, chicken breasts are gonna be a lot thicker than this. They basically slice them like this and spread them open, thus the butterfly term. And I like them this way. They're just easier to cook. They cook more evenly. Gonna go in with some avocado oil, rub each side with avocado oil. Found this at an Ace Hardware in Florida a couple years ago. If you're cooking a really thick chicken breast, you have to have it on high heat and sear it up, kind of like a steak. And then you have to turn that heat way down or bring the chicken up off of the heat so the outside doesn't burn while it's taking a 1-inch thick piece of chicken 10 or 15 minutes to cook. Blackstone 36-inch griddle from Walmart, complete with a Smokey the Bear magnet. You know the routine, I always like to have my griddle well oiled. I guess you'd call it a piece of organic steel, right? The seasoning is organic. It's gonna take on a life of its own. It's gonna build, it could deteriorate. And so I find that if you keep it well oiled, it helps maintain the seasoning. And like I always say on my Let's Give It a Try show, it's a hot griddle. I'm using my bare hands, so proceed with caution. You can use tongs or heat-resistant gloves. Just be aware that that's 500, 600 degrees, and if your finger touches it, your little pinky is gonna get hot, so be careful. Seasoning and oil straight down on that hot griddle top. These are gonna cook so quick. They're gonna be so delicious. No breading required. We're not deep frying these. We're just cooking a chicken breast, but boy, these are gonna be seared and packed with flavor. I like to use tongs for chicken. I like to use them for steak. It's just so easy to pick it up and look underneath. And we're gonna grab some spinach. The big old spinach with the stems, big old pile down on the griddle top. I'm just grabbing some organic sea salt. Shout out to the folks at Redmond. You don't need to put a lot of ingredients there. We're basically gonna cook the spinach. It's gonna wilt up really quick. It's gonna cook really quick. We have that 36-inch, so I could even go ahead and kill that burner altogether. I could go down on low. That way we still have plenty of heat over here. The spinach is just gonna cook up in a minute or two. And I like to put a bed of spinach down and then put my chicken breast on top. Speaking of chicken breast, back over here, grab those tongs. We should be ready to flip. And that's what we want right there. Gorgeous, just beautiful color. I like to add a little bit of that garlic paste and we'll mix it up, impart a little bit of garlic into my spinach. Believe it or not, this is practically a whole bag, a regular store bag of spinach here. This is about a third of one of those giant bulk containers of spinach. So that's really all it's gonna take. Grab my Blackstone cast iron pan. I'm gonna pull it. I don't want it to burn, so we're just gonna throw it in there while our chicken continues to cook. So cooking on a griddle is all about getting things to stay warm, to stay hot, not burning something while you're cooking something else. People ask me a lot. They'll say, hey Todd, I'm cooking the green beans, but they're done, and the steak still has time to go. I don't know what to do. I can't time it. So you have to figure that out. You might need to turn the heat off. You might need to pull your spinach and set it aside in a cast iron skillet. Maybe I could have pulled that aside and wrapped it in aluminum foil, whatever it takes, just so when we're done, everything's still hot, nothing's overcooked, and hopefully nothing's undercooked. And there's certainly no crime in flipping your chicken a second time. These are gonna cook up mega quick. We have one thick one here. Everything else is pretty thin, so I think we're really close. You don't want to overcook chicken. Grab your thermometer if you're into temperatures. Put it on there, 143, 136. We're shooting for an internal temperature about 165. Look at that, 167. And take a look at that. Oh my goodness. Healthy, nutritious, very few ingredients. chicken breast, garlic, spinach, and some good seasoning. You can do this at home. You can do this with pork chops, for crying out loud. I spend a lot of time in my line of work worrying about trying to make innovative recipes that nobody's made before, or copycat recipes. Lately, I find myself more and more just wanting to cook dinner and take it back to basics. Typically, I'd serve this up by spreading a little bit of spinach on my plate and then just finding my favorite piece of chicken. Let's do a second take a look at that. Cut into the chicken breast. Like I mentioned earlier, you do not want to overcook chicken breast. It gets tough and stringy, and that's what you want it to look like, a big old bite. Let's give it a try. No barbecue sauce required today. I'm all about condiments, ketchup, barbecue sauce, use a lot of them, but sometimes you just have to take it back to basics. Let's clean the griddle really quick. I like to leave my griddle on high when I'm cleaning it. Grease solidifies, so that's why you want to keep it nice and hot. In the time that it took me to do my beauty shots and eat that, you can see the chicken residue basically turned to ash, and that's all it takes. So sometimes if I clean this 5 minutes early, I might have needed a little bit of water, but essentially everything turned to black ash. So bonus, really easy cleaning today. Doing a light scraping. You can see we're not digging into the griddle. If you're new to Griddle Nation, welcome. My name's Todd. I've been cooking out of Blackstone for over 11 years, and I am super blessed because I was the first person that used a Blackstone griddle on social media. Back in the day, so many people that have Blackstone channels and Blackstone Instagram pages now, but I was the very first. Just like earlier, you want to be careful. Bare-handing this, you might want to use tongs or protective gloves. I'm making sure I get all that ash residue off of my griddle top. Grab my oil, which happens to be avocado today, and once again we're going to lightly rub that into the griddle top, being careful. And that is the way I would leave my griddle. I'll let it smoke off for a minute or so, maybe 30 seconds, and then we'll turn it off and my griddle will be ready for the next cook. And it's also protected against the elements. That's why we season our griddle tops. We season them to make them non-stick, so we can cook a chicken breast, or we can turn a crepe, make French toast or pancakes, and they won't stick. But the seasoning also provides a protective coating against rust, and that's all there is to it. So thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, this is Todd. I'm saying praise the Lord and pass the chicken and spinach.